Welcome to the Hinchinbrook Shire. Now, the Herbert River Valley is one of the wettest in the country with up to 3 meters of rainfall. And that's why it's usually pretty green all year around and one of the most beautiful natural environments in the country. Today we're going to meet with Raymond Jayo, the Mayor of Hinchinbrook. He's going to talk to us about grain in the rain, recycling, as well as the Dungeness Marine Access Upgrade. And then we're going to meet with the MP for Hinchinbrook, Nick Demeter.
Welcome to Hinchinbrook. The future of Northern Australia starts right here. We're obviously in the Herbert River floodplain, so we have very rich alluvial soils. We have a very reliable annual rainfall. We can grow a variety of crops. Our main crop, of course, is sugarcane. We're looking to diversify and better utilise our soil to grow high value crops in rotation with our sugarcane. So what we do need to do is to provide our farmers with the security of being able to irrigate as a supplementary to our rain-fed systems to ensure that the investments they make into growing of the crops is not fruitless.
Well, the challenges for us is the irrigation. We've got Stone River that runs past. Most people have got water licences to pump out of the Stone River. But when it gets to a point where you need the water, we can't use our allocation because they stop us pumping. So our licenses are really worth nothing at the moment. By holding water back that ends up all the way out to sea is a bit of a waste. And cropping too, you know, you could do alternative crops if you've got a bit of water. Irrigation's a lot of work in it. You've got to put a lot of infrastructure in to make it a lot easier, but with the way things are, you can't do that.
One of the things that we're working on is looking at ways that we can value add to the sugarcane crop. And we have bioplastics, for instance, and we also do have the green energy component. If sugarcane is carbon positive, as we believe it to be, well, you know, we can make quite a difference with going towards carbon neutrality in 2030. Housing is becoming an issue. We're trying to introduce new people to the district with a skill set. The other issue is the insurance costs. A lot of people can't afford to insure their houses. Waste is becoming extremely difficult and costly to deal with. It is going to be the biggest cost component and the biggest problem that local governments face coming into the future. The cost of landfilling and the environmental compliance issues in that is just something that is not going to be sustainable unless we do something about it. So the strategies have been developed and basically they're called zero to landfill waste. And the whole intent being to stop things going into landfill, but to be repurposed and used for something else. What we're looking for is some funding support so that we can establish a mighty big shed that we can undertake all our recycling efforts within. The other thing then that we really do need is for the community to embrace it.
And here we are in Lucinda at the Lucinda port, also operated by our Port of Townsville. Behind me you can see the longest jetty in the southern hemisphere. 5.4 kilometers of sugar traveling from the sheds. There is actually a ship out there to a 50,000 ton export ship going to Japan.
We are in paradise here. 1 hour that way, we're on the Great Barrier Reef. 20 minutes that way, we're in the Palm group of islands. Pristine coral reefs, diving, snorkeling. We have whale watching opportunities just 10 minutes off our doorstep. Behind us is the Hinchinbrook Channel. It's the safest and most sheltered waterway in the whole of Queensland. It is a fishing mecca. We're probably the highest boat per capita ownership in Australia. What we're seeking is assistance from the state to deepen a small 100 metres of channel so that we can access at all tides our beautiful ramp facilities that we have here and the ability to address the erosion issues happening.
The future of Northern Australia starts right here. We've got so many abundant resources in the Hinchinbrook Shire, whether it's our opportunities in tourism or agriculture. We need to make sure that we've got the water infrastructure in place so we can capture some of our water that falls all at once in the Hinchinbrook Shire. If we were able to irrigate during our dry months in the Hinchinbrook Shire, we'd actually be able to move in the crop diversification. We need clear pathways to project realisation. We need to make sure that we're streamlining these things so both local, state and federal governments can work hand in hand to deliver projects. We need people from Canberra and Brisbane spending more time in the regions to better understand our needs. Go out and have a look at the Great Barrier Reef. I invite anybody from around the world. It's alive and well We want people to come out and visit it, and our farmers, they love it just as much as anyone else. We want to make sure that state and federal governments are working hand in hand with growers. So insurance in North Queensland, for so many people, it's unattainable. It's one of our biggest inhibitors right now when it comes to investment in North. They're saying up to 20 to 30% of householders are just going without insurance. The reinsurance pool has been a welcome announcement from the federal government, but to hear that it's not going to be deployed till 2023, it's almost pie in the sky for most people right now, going into the cyclone and flood season, potentially without any insurance or any relief from insurance costs. And we're talking about marine infrastructure, so we can access the places like Hinchinbrook Island and the Great Barrier Reef. Most tourists are operating off the next bus schedule or the next flight out of towns or Cairns. And if you've got to wait for the tide to come in, the opportunity to capitalise on capturing that tourism market drops dramatically.
So Wild Hinchinbrook Adventures, basically we're set up to do both fishing charters, so up the Hinchinbrook Channel, out the reef, and we also do scenic tours up the Hinchinbrook Channel, trips to Zoe Bay, Mulligan Falls, and we also go over to Orpheus Island. Obviously access has been a major issue. Not only is it an inconvenience, but it's also a safety issue as well. We've got emergency services like Coast Guard who are unable to attend anyone if they're having any issues offshore, if the tide's at a certain level, because it's unpassable. I have to govern my whole day based on tides, so I need at least 1.3 metres to gain safe access across that bar at the mouth there to be able to get in and get out. It's all about safety for my clients. So my larger vessel is 6.5 metres. To expand with the visitation we're having, a 9 or 10 metre vessel is not far on the horizon for us, which means extra draft, which means you need more depth and you need safer exit and entry.